This is a Hot Pie Media original. Hi, I'm Deb, and this is my podcast.
I don't know anything. I don't know anything. Why racist white guys keep winning elections? Why stocks and bond yields move in opposite directions? Why Deborah calls eggplants aubergines? What color was that dress from 2015? Deborah, tell me, I don't know anything. You're listening to the Deb O'Keefe Podcast, the podcast where Deb O'Keefe doesn't know anything.
And now a thank you to Early Bird CBD gummies. Guys, I was just traveling recently and I took them with me. I don't know if that was right or wrong, but I've become so used to having my Early Bird gummies with me during the day to keep me feeling chill and relaxed when I'm stressed out, and that happens quite a lot. And then in the evening, it really helps me to wind down, to go to bed, get a great night's sleep using these gummies. The flavors are amazing. They've got 3 different flavors of Early Bird CBD gummies: strawberry, watermelon, and lemon. They're vegan. Oh, you guys at Early Bird, you did that just for me, didn't you? GMO free, no pesticides. And what's really cool about the full spectrum hemp extract that they use, and I had to ask the owner about this, guys, because I don't understand hemp products or THC, CBD. I know that I've used CBD oil before, and that this is in here too, and I've used that for relaxing. I used it on my dog Blue Boy right here when he was going through his cancer treatment. So we all know about CBD relaxing, but if you're anything like me, maybe in the past weed has just weirded you out. It has me. Too strong, headache, stomachache. And I don't get any of that with Early Bird CBD gummies. It's just a chill vibe that's totally legal. I like that side of things too. Not that I don't think weed shouldn't be legal, because it should all be legal. But this stuff is legal, and you're going to get well-formulated amounts in each single, whether you buy the bottle with 30 pills in it, gummies in it, or these little packages here that have 4 in them. Great child-proof top on this as well, guys. Get yours at earlybirdcbd.com/Deb for 20% off everything in your first order. That's earlybirdcbd.com/Deb. And is it just me, or am I just rolling in all of my friends to be on my podcast? That's probably the way it's going to be. But I do have some really interesting friends. And today's guest, very excited, not just for me to see personally, because I like hanging out with him, but I've known this man for, I think I did the maths the other day, 15 or 16 years. And I don't even know who he is anymore. He's changed, but for the good. Wait, not that he was bad before, but I'd like to introduce you to my friend Shag, who many people I think will recognize you from the television
Maybe,
world.
hopefully.
He is, well, you know, this is a silly thing with my friends and I. We keep nicknames that we had for people when we first met them. So you're still Shag from Red Bull to a lot of my friends.
A lot of people. I still hear that, actually.
But you are Shag from, well, many other things, but the TV show Iron Resurrection, of which my little brother James is a huge fan.
Which we have a funny story about that.
It's a great story.
It really is.
I just can't believe that he did it. He's such a dullard sometimes.
We can just tell it.
With a terrible memory. But, well, I want to tell the listeners who might not know what Iron Resurrection is. And I am a classic car owner myself. It's not really in very good shape, guys. I don't think I need a really long jump starter, but my cables aren't long enough. It's a long story. I'll tell you off there. Yeah, come over. It's not worth a story for the podcast, but I love old cars. I love old motorbikes. And you landed yourself on a car show on which channel is it?
Motor Trend.
It's on Motor Trend. It's all about cars, finding old hunks of junk in the countryside in Texas. And you guys spin it around and come out with these pimp daddy rides.
Knocking off the rust and putting in the cool.
Is that what they say?
I think that's what they say.
Is that what they say?
Yeah. It's basically, it's it's custom. It's all custom. There's no restoration.
Yeah. Hand welding.
It's in the name, Martin Brothers Custom. So it's all custom fabrication, all handmade in Texas. And these guys are crazy. They're artists. They're amazing. And I'm in awe every time I go in there. And I've seen Joe and Mike and the guys do the same things over and over and over. And it's just so fun because every time it's different.
Yeah. Well, it has to be, right? Because when you're dealing with old vehicles that 50 years old, let's just say, the average age maybe.
Easily.
They've all gone through their old journeys of maybe being fixed up a certain way or had some body work done or a new engine put in and then done again. And now then here you guys come and bring them into the 21st century kicking and screaming.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. I think what it is really, it's emotional. These are like passion projects.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times we have people come in and like, oh man, I used to drive this as a kid, or my dad had this, and the memories attached to these vehicles are so deep. So a lot of the times we're building these passion projects because rarely do you have such a specific want just because.
There's a reason.
There's always a reason.
Yeah, someone you know and loved had that car.
So we've actually gone back and built Lee. It was his high school car. We brought it back to life for him. And
the actual vehicle.
Yeah.
You found the actual. Well, he held on to it the whole time.
He held on to it that long.
Wow.
And so it's cool stuff like that. And one was it was the guy's dad who had passed, and we built that for him, built it up, and brought it up to your point to like the 21st century.
Yeah.
And it's just I love the stories. I love to find out the why. When someone's selling something, like, what's the story? Why are you selling this? This is beautiful. Or why haven't you done something to this? And so to me, it's the people and the stories, because everything has a story and a backstory or a meaning.
Yeah. Especially with, I hate to say this, it sounds so old fashioned of me, but they don't make cars the way they used to. And you're not going to see a lot of this original craftsmanship that I know you guys come across and then you soak it up.
The 50s, 60s, it was one time thing, like every year was a fresh model, not minor changes, like pretty significant changes. And I think they realized this isn't good business.
Definitely not. But I think about the quality of cars now, and I am no car girl. I'm not going to say that, but I'm like a wannabe car girl. I like cars.
It's in the heart. You know what? You don't have to be a gearhead.
Appreciate that.
You don't have to be like a mechanic or anything to be a car person.
I like that. Thank you.
It's in the heart.
Because like the whole theme tune and the theme of my show is I don't know anything about anything, but I know
which I would argue that.
I know little things about.
You know a lot about a little.
Yeah, it's true. But I know that every now and then I'll get out of my car, or I'm loading the dogs out after going to the park, and I'll shut my car door, and it's like, and I'm like, that is such a lame sound when you shut a car door, because then when I shut the car door of my 68 Buick Wildcat and it's like, whoop-um.
Yeah.
You feel the difference.
Because the door is the weight of your new car.
Weight of, my car, which is, it's great. Thanks safety standards and everything else. And it's much better on the petrol because it doesn't weigh as much as, this 19-foot behemoth that I have in my driveway.
Here's the way I look at it.
It just feels different.
If you get a car and you just drive it home stock the way it is and don't do anything to it the whole time you own it, you're not a car person.
Yeah.
But if you buy it and immediately go and just start making minor modifications just to personalize it and customize it to your taste, you're a car person.
I'm talking new ex-boyfriend. The guy he just bought a 2017, and this is newer cars. I don't know if you're into this world, but
no. Hey.
He's an Audi guy. He flew to Vegas to pick up a 2019 S7 and drove it back and made a little road trip out.
That's a fun trip
on the way. But since then, and this was last summer, I believe, because I bought a new car last year too. Not new, but new to me, just a used car. And he has done, I think he's had the paintwork, what do you call it? Not muted, not dulled. Matted.
Yeah.
So he's had the paintwork matted, whole new front grille, go faster parts, so what he calls them when I don't understand what they are. He actually
performance parts.
Yeah, he's downloaded the entire Audi. This is probably illegal, so I'm not going to say his name. The entire Audi manual for his car to his computer. He hooks his computer up to the car and does upgrades. And it was just in the shop recently to have some other like front grille stuff done.
Yeah, see that's what I mean. Like you get the car, and the first thing you can think of
I want to make this look better, ride lower.
I've got to make changes immediately.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And I've done that my whole life.
Yeah, you have.
Yeah.
huh?
Every car I've had, I've just made minor adjustments just to kind of make it
Personalized.
It's like you move in, you customize your surrounding.
Oh, totally.
Your car is an extension. That's your surroundings for the majority of your life. And I've always done that.
Yeah. Oh, I guess
Yeah.
I'm like totally vanilla then when it comes to my car because it is stock. Not only that, the car, not my Buick Wildcat, but actually that's mostly stock, which I don't mind. But
was it customized when you bought it?
No.
Oh, so it's pretty.
It's raw.
It's bones.
Like it's kick. I mean, not telling, just saying, Shag.
Oh, saying.
We could have a project on our hands.
I'm picking up what you're putting down.
Iron Resurrection.
Yeah.
I'm just looking you right in the eyes. No, but like my daily driver, as you car folks call it, it's the third time I've bought the exact same model.
Really?
Yeah, I had one car in between. My dog ate a window seal when I was in the store, and it cost me $1,000 because it was a Mercedes. So I'm like taking that back.
Yeah.
And it's an Infiniti. It's a small SUV. And it is the same body style over 3 different years. Like it hasn't changed a bit. To your point,
it's all interior.
No interior
Like
changes.
Small interior, nothing?
I guarantee you the radio's the same, the interface
Gotcha.
is the same, and I think my first one was a 2002, and so they discontinued it. This it doesn't exist anymore after the year I bought it. But it was very pleasant for me because I could leave Blue Boy right here on the painting behind you, who you know and have met many a time.
Yeah.
I could leave him in the car, lock the door from the outside with the AC and the engine still running.
Yep.
So someone out there invent another car that does that, and you'll be my next car
Tesla.
purchase. They do.
Yeah.
Okay, you're gonna hook me up with that Tesla because that's
I gotta hook myself
a
up.
little bit out of my price range.
You know what I want?
Now.
I want to take my 64 Cadillac
and make it a Tesla?
make it electric. That would be
wow,
pretty insane.
Is anybody okay? Let's broach that.
There's a lot
Are people
there's a
doing
lot
that?
of shops doing the electric conversions.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're doing some
That's
really sweet stuff with it
so
too.
interesting. Are they taking actually old Tesla batteries or is it different internal?
Now that there's more companies doing electric, than Tesla.
Yeah.
There's other companies that are selling the frame. They call them like a skateboard chassis or skateboard frame. Or, you can buy just the motors, the engines, or nothing. I guess they're the motors, the electric motors and stuff, and do the...
wow.
Yeah.
Wow, you just opened my eyes.
But
I never even thought of that.
You've got to take a lot of weight off of it. Like an old car like from the 60s.
My car.
You really have to strip a lot of weight back to accommodate.
Because the batteries are heavy. Well, I don't even know how you would do that then with my car because it's solid steel, right?
Oh yeah, I've got an old car too.
I looked up the stats once to what it weighed, and I just thought I'm probably damaging my driveway just having this sit there all the time.
It's ruining the foundation.
Right. It's rocking some cracks down there. But have you ever seen my car?
I've seen pictures.
Right. So picture that, but with now 2 dents and it needs a new roof. My neighbor hit it.
I was like, so you have customized it. I'm just
Let me
kidding.
tell you about this neighbor a second, right?
Yeah,
We're on a podcast. We've got all the time in the world. I used to have the car parked out on the street. I've got my house is weird. I'll tell you about that, guys. Later.
I've been there.
It's a weird house, but I've got the driveway, I suppose, is kind of a 3-car driveway, but one of you is going to be stuck in there all the time.
Yeah.
So when the ex with the Audi was there, we moved the Buick onto the street so we could both park our cars in the driveway and just get them in and out without having to, play shuffle every time one of us had to go. And it was, it's not exactly in front of my house, but slightly toward the next door on the other side of the road. And I came out one day and there was a fucking dent in it.
No note.
No. And you got to hit this car fucking hard, right? Because it's steel. It's not just like you popping into a Prius. You're going to crumple that thing like nothing. And I was so upset.
You think?
I was so angry that nobody left a note. And I started thinking about it because of where the dent was.
Well, did you have like a doorbell camera or anything?
Well, I did have one, but apparently it was going through some type of update or something. I didn't have any footage, but about a few days, so I moved it off the street, put it on my driveway and put the car cover over it. And I was just sitting livid every time I'd walk out and I'd see it in front of me. I'd be like, so annoyed. And one Saturday morning, these 2 young girls, I'm surrounded, but don't come to my house if you're a single man and young because there are a bunch of 23-year-olds on my street. I swear that's all there is, college girls. But they came to my door and they said, hey, this is your car, right? And it used to be on the street. I said, yes. Well, they looked at each other and they were like, hey, he told us not to say anything, but we saw your next door neighbor 3 days ago reverse out of his driveway, pop your car, got out, had a look, saw us walk into school and said, I won't say anything if you don't say anything.
Wow.
I was like, girls, that's some great civic responsibility right
karma,
there.
that karma bank just got loaded up.
So I thought about it and I thought, that any kind of jerk that's going to intimidate two young girls. And they said, we were really scared, but we thought it was wrong. So we wanted to come to you. And I was like, you don't intimidate these young ladies on my street. So I'm sitting there thinking, what can I do? How can I get this guy to pay for the damage and also just tell him I'm not taking his shit? So I thought, well, I do have the camera sitting right there. It just wasn't operational at the time.
He doesn't need to know that.
No, I popped on around to his house, knocked on the door and said, hi, I'm from next door. He's like, yeah, how you doing? I said, yeah, you hit my car the other day. I caught it on my camera. And so I just need your insurance information. And his face was just like, okay. I thought he was going to deny the whole thing. He's like, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I don't think I did that. I said, well, so he had a massive Chevy extended cab truck with a steel bumper, which you don't see all the time, right?
No.
Steel bumper, doink, dent in it. And I was like, really, you have that? It's like sex parts. Male, female sex parts. It just fits perfectly right there.
Yeah.
And he tried to deny it, but for a second.
But you got it covered.
Yeah. I said, I need your thank you. I was smiling the whole time.
But at least you got it covered.
So yeah, I got it covered. And then, let me tell you another story. And I don't want to say whose shop, but I reached out to someone that I think might know something about classic cars and getting them fixed. Because you can't just take them down the regular body shop, I don't think. Can you?
No. I mean, it's not. You can, but I wouldn't recommend
Right. You want somebody like your guys who know what they're doing.
You want somebody who's going to put the love and care into bringing it
right. Well, nowadays, to a
condition that's...
In the storm earlier this year, I got hail damage in the everyday driver.
Oh, yeah.
And they just pop it out, paintless dent repair. You can't do that with a 68 Buick Wildcat. It can't, right? You can't just pop it out as easily as that.
There are guys that do some really amazing metal work with that paintless dent repair.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some guys. There's a guy, we use a couple of guys out in Dripping Springs that do really good work, but it depends on the
damage.
Yeah, the level of the damage.
So, I had these guys come out and have a look, and I think this was a year ago, and I still haven't had a quote. So,
so he hasn't paid for it yet?
No, but I've got the insurance information.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I don't know if there's a statute of limitations.
There might be. You might want to check into that.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Another thing I got to check on. I just send you around.
I'm just trying to think.
Send you around looking.
I bet I could get you an estimate.
Yeah, that'd be good. That'd be good. And we'll talk about that.
So that way, actually, there's somebody I could get you an estimate. That way you could have something to give their insurance.
All right. I like the sound of that.
A legitimate, fair, I'm not, I'm not trying to screw anybody, but a fair estimate.
So you said you got a guy that does that. Do you guys do everything in shop for Iron Resurrection when you find these steals or, in someone's backyard or a chassis that someone wants to use?
Well, I think what makes our show a little different, the format across the board is very similar. But I think what really makes Iron Resurrection unique is that Joe and his team of guys that have been around for a while, that he keeps close, Joe has a part of every part of the build.
Right. So he doesn't just piecemeal it out.
No, he designs it.
Right. From the very beginning all the way through.
He works with the paint. He works with the wiring, the interior. He has his hands in every part of that build. His name just isn't on the building and he says, okay, you do this, you do that. So I think that's what makes Iron Resurrection different than the other shows that are very similar in the format.
Yeah.
But there are some things that you can't do. So you have to send it out and
to that super specialist.
Yeah. Guys are experts in their field. So
do you have because do I call it reality TV?
That's what it is.
Yeah, okay. Reality build show, because there's reality gossip bullshit like the Real Housewives, and then you're actually you produce real products. Is there rivalry between you and other car shows? Or?
I don't think it's rivalry, but I will say the one thing I've learned and noticed is for such a large industry that is very passionate about the same exact thing.
Yeah.
There's a lot of shit talking.
I imagine.
And I don't understand it because
let me just tell you why.
Having respect,
number one, it's mostly all men, so you're swinging dicks. You're comparing.
Well, it's like if you took. I've heard these stories where cars will go to other shops. So if someone buys something somewhere and takes it to another shop, and have them look at it if they're having mechanical issues. Oh man, who worked on this last? This looks like shit. They didn't know what they were doing. It's like, wait a minute, why isn't there so and so did this? Oh man. Those guys are good stuff.
That reminds me though.
It's why isn't there that love there?
Yeah, it reminds me. I've got, like I said earlier, I've got a very weird house, and I've basically renovated every room gradually since I've lived there, had a few different builders on the projects, and actually have a whole podcast completely dedicated to this because I got some shit to talk myself. But every single one of them comes in and goes, ooh, who did that?
Exactly.
Ooh, look at this. And then you find yourself going, well, I paid good money for that. And did I get ripped off? I think, is it just inherently in that business sometimes?
I think it's make the other person look bad to make you look good.
Better.
But if you're going to do that, you better be real good.
Yeah. And you better know that someone who comes behind you is going to go, well, this guy was a jackass.
Yeah. So that's, it's funny because I've my personal vehicle, I've been in accidents and had to take it to insurance, and you're run of the mill copy and paste collision places. And I don't go in expecting to be recognized or anything, but at some point someone in the process will recognize me.
Oh, especially some guy from the shop.
And so, it's always someone back in the shop. And that's actually played to my benefit. Like,
oh, I bet.
Oh man, like they'll know that Shorty will look at it or Joe's going to put eyes on it. So they better do a good job. That's actually been helpful. But I think in general, for the most part, they a lot of people love the final product, but then they walk up and everyone just starts picking it apart.
Oh, everyone's an expert.
And I just, man, why can't there just be like, man, this is killer?
Yeah.
Because it was built for the customer.
Right,
like every car you see that Joe builds isn't built for him. It's being built by the customer specifications and budgets and things of those natures. So take that into consideration when you're criticizing.
Yeah. Right. That's their choice. That you've personally made it cosmetic for them.
And let's be clear. I grew up working on cars. Like my dad always said, hey, you break it, you fix it.
I was about to ask you if you've ever thought about getting involved with the work that they do.
No, like I'm a car guy out of just passion and love of the lifestyle, but and respect. But I wouldn't. I've helped around the shop, but more of like a gopher, I guess.
Yeah, you're the runner.
And I'm totally fine with that because I just enjoy the environment. But I don't stake claim to any of that stuff. I work on my cars.
You do.
I do.
When I first got my car, Georgie is her name.
Oh, okay.
She's green. I just felt like the two G's working
there you go.
together. I actually had a client who owned a do-it-yourself garage.
Yeah.
And they were like, come on up, bring the car up and, we'll look her over and we'll teach you to do some things. And so I got some scrubbies on, some dirty, pulled my hair up, clothes I don't mind getting disgusting. And I changed the oil on my car and we put it up on a lift and I changed the starter motor. And I did it all myself. I was being told and I had looked up how to do the stuff. And I attempted to change out some of the light bulbs in the back. Dude, if you've never seen the backlight system, I don't know if it's in all those cars, but the whole thing is one piece.
Oh, in the later model stuff?
It's 68. I had to get in the trunk, which by the way, I've always said
68.
you could comfortably fit 3 to 4 dead bodies depending on body weight. The trunk is bigger than like a BMW
You can put a smart car in the trunk.
You can. It's ridiculously large. Unlike my trunk, it's a 12-year-old boy's butt over here is what I'm sitting on. But this thing is huge. And I had to get in there and unscrew things. And I don't think the guy at the shop even realized either, but the whole fucking thing comes out. And I just went, whoop, nope, putting that back together again. There's that's no way I can do that. That's the fun
part.
If that was in my garage and I could do it and I didn't have to drive.
That's a great point because I enjoy working on.
Do you have like shop equipment at home?
Yep. If I don't have it, I go and buy it when I need it. If something comes up where you need a special tool or whatever. Growing up, I always had used cars. My first car was an old Jeep CJ7, and that was like my beater and my tester. It's a Jeep. It's a classic Jeep. But they're CJ5s, a little shorter, CJ7. And they, it's like Wrangler, I guess.
Now they're like the CJ1000.
Yeah.
They're huge.
But it was like, I learned everything on it. And I always changed my own oil. So always tried to figure out can't analyze the problems. Like my dad's always like, hey, there's a lot of people that just think, oh, it won't start. I need a new car. He's like, there's a reason it won't start and try to figure that out. Like, and it's always going to be a simple reason.
Spark
and
plugs.
So when I got a job in corporate America and I got a fleet car, I got a car and it needed the oil change. I remember calling the guy going, all right, man, so I'm about to change oil on this thing. I guess I'll just turn in the receipts. Like, how do you guys do this? He's like, no.
Jiffy Lube,
don't
please?
change take it to the dealership. They'll change it. I'm like, really?
Oh, because it's fleet, right?
Yeah, and I'd never done that before. I've always just changed and, kept the calendar. You keep the mileage and everything. And
Did you teach, because you have 2 boys. Is that something that you've passed on to them?
The basics, yes.
Yeah.
So that way, if they get stranded, if they're in their vehicle and they get stranded, they know the basic workings, and they can kind of describe over the phone to me or someone else what's going on. And
that helps.
Yeah, I think you have to have a knowledge of some of the basics, like changing your tires, checking your oil, checking levels, looking at things, trying to figure out the problem.
Yeah.
Because, getting that call, I'm on the side of the road and it sounds like a strangled chicken. That doesn't help.
Right.
None of that helps, So I've tried to teach them the basics, but I don't force like hey, I'm going to go work on the caddy. Come with me.
Right.
Zane, my youngest, is about to be 15. Actually, this Saturday, he turns 15 this Saturday. Crazy.
Happy birthday, young man.
Yeah. So he's shown more interest in my oldest race. But I don't force it. Like, hey, I'm doing this. You want to come help?
Well, it's not fun that way, is it? At all?
No.
It's never going to be fun.
No, I want him to want to do it. But he's actually shown more interest in like classic cars. Yeah. I was kind of shocked.
Family business.
We were driving down the road and there was this old Z28 and he's like, oh man, Dad, I think I want that as my first car. It's like, what?
Is that right?
Like, all right.
They're classic now?
Well, I mean, I guess so, technically. But if you go by the year.
25 years, right? It's classic.
Yeah.
Wow. Are you looking for a little me time? Are you thinking maybe you need a little me time on the way you look? It's been a stressful couple of years. Maybe our faces are carrying that stress. I know that mine does. And that's why I'm not a little ashamed to admit that I've had Botox and fillers and such. And I'm going to send you somewhere, guys. If you're looking at giving yourself a little pick-me-up, you got to go to Refine Aesthetics. It's a brand new premier med spa. It's a boutique med spa in downtown Austin. Beautiful practice they have there. The space is nice and relaxing. It's going to make you feel like you're having a real spa experience. Everything that they offer, from injectables to lasers, body contouring, facial and skincare, they're all designed to make you look and feel your best. Again, maybe just a little more refreshed after the stresses of the last year. Get yourself into refineaesthetics.com. You can go there to find all the details. You can meet all of the practitioners online, read a little bit about them, their experience, feel like you get to know them a little bit more before you book an appointment, and you won't regret it. Trust me, go to refineaesthetics.com to learn more. And then when you book your appointment, mention the Deb O'Keefe podcast. They'll give you 15% off. Yay. So you have a Cadillac?
I have a 64 Coupe de Ville convertible. Coupe de Vertible.
Did you guys do this?
We built it on season 1.
You did. See, I've seen a bunch of episodes. I didn't know what,
So it's actually the season 1 finale. So It was the triple black Cadillac. We bought it from a musician here in Austin, not too far from here, and built it. In season 1, we were building the cars to Joe's kind of specifications because in season 1, we didn't have the clients before.
Right, so you were building.
We were building and selling, knowing that season 1 would there'd be a flood of customers. But so I loved it. I loved it when we went and looked at it. We found it on Craigslist and I fell in love with it. It was just triple black caddy. And then after Joe and the guys did their thing, I was like, man, I have to have this car. But I didn't have the means to get it, and it was sold off. And then through the alignment of planets or whatever you want to call it, we got it back. And so Joe called and he's like, "Hey, man, we're getting the caddy back if you want it."
That's magical.
Yeah.
So not to be crass.
Well, he didn't give it to me, by the way.
No.
He gave me first right of refusal.
Okay, that's
nice.
I
want to be clear on that. Like Joe wasn't gifting me caddies.
But how much are we looking at when you buy a car like that? Let's say you spent 15, 20 grand on the actual car. And again, it's crass to talk about money, but I'm intrigued.
Because I got a really good deal on it. Let's just say, like, I could sell it for way more than what I bought it for.
Right, of course, because
it was definitely a friend deal.
But when we look at the upgrade from bog standard that comes in, or you find in someone's back garden, what on average are you putting into lower something?
It just depends. It really depends on the donor vehicle and what kind of shape it's in and how much work it's going to take.
That sounds weird. Donor vehicle.
I know, doesn't it? I mean, I don't know what else to call it.
Leech all the good parts out of it.
Well, I mean, it is what it is.
It is what it is.
It is what it is.
I get it.
Someone shows up with a car that's been garage kept and it's been in, this perfect environment, you almost feel bad cutting into it.
Oh, I bet.
They really don't, but a lot of people watching get frustrated at that because cars sometimes come in looking like show cars. They come in looking finished, but they want something different, and that's what people again. customer's always right.
Exactly. They are always
But
right.
it really depends on the vehicle and what you want done to it.
That's fun. Well, tell me some of the most unique finds that you've stumbled upon, or something that just sits in your memory from your 6 seasons now, right? Season 6 is now out.
So new news. We just wrapped on we wrapped early summer on the 5th season, and then it came out. It actually comes out it's weird because we're still shooting and the episodes are coming out.
Right.
And then we found
like a
out
soap opera.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I guess you're like, oh man, I shouldn't do that. I'll change that up next week. But yeah, we just found out we're getting a 6th season. So
That's
they just
amazing.
greenlit the 6th season. And what's cool about this year is they're allowing us to do two episodes per build. So you'll see more process.
Oh, right.
They're not going to try to cram so much of that process into 1 hour. You're going to get to see these, the metal work, the paint work, the fabrication.
The real gearheads are going to love that.
Yeah.
How long? Obviously, your car was done in one episode, but what are we looking at for your car, for example?
Oh, in real time.
Yeah, and was that your favorite episode, by the way?
Well, I have favorite episodes for different reasons. So there's personal favorites, which the Cadillacs and those just big, like Hollywood luxury cars. That's why I love Cadillac, because to me it's luxury. It's American, Hollywood.
Yeah,
people that had power or riches or wealth or whatever, they drove these kinds of cars, and I've just always loved that car. So I personally love those builds, but from a just creative interest and passion, I love watching the builds where they do a lot of fabrication. And for the longest time, the 73 Firebird from season 1, that was my favorite, because if you look at it, you're like, oh, that's cool. But when you see it next to what it should be,
right.
Like an original 73, you see all the fabrication and all the little nuances and subtle little changes. And it's just beautiful.
Wow.
Man.
That I'm going to have to go back and look at that one. I didn't see that. Yeah,
that's a good one. This last season, what was it? We did a Falcon. Chad's a new fabricator at the shop. And
I don't think I know what a Falcon is. Maybe we'll pop one up right here.
Yeah. But so there's a new fabricator at the shop, and his skills are insane. I've always loved watching Joe. And I remember the first time I went in, he had been there for a little bit over the summer in between seasons. And man, I was just like, whoa, who's this guy? Like he
took it to the next level.
I mean, he is equally fantastic fabricator. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah. It's a lot of fun to watch.
What would you, if you could now, I mean, obviously you have this, and guys, he calls it the Shagalac.
Well, so I've had 4 Cadillacs in my time. 4 of them.
Are they all called the Shagalac?
Well, I didn't give myself the nickname. I had a 75 coupe that was teal with a white top with chrome rims. And my friends at work, I pulled in when they were like, oh, here comes the Shagalac. And it just kind of stuck because I had a caddy, and they called me Shagalac. So yeah, it stuck.
So
I do call this one.
You do call it the Shagalac.
This one, I do call this one the Shagalac.
Is that your dream car? Is you done now?
Man, I don't know if I have like a dream car. Because I love...
It's the project.
Yeah. Well, right. Yeah. So I guess it is a bit of a dream car in the fact that it's something I've always loved. It's a convertible. I love convertibles.
Even here? How could you?
It's... Hey,
Scorchio. You're white as well. Super white.
There's a solid 6 months of nice weather.
Not here, there isn't.
Yeah, 3 on the front, 3 on the back.
Great. But, today might be all right.
Well, no, I was thinking about driving it up.
But then we got the rain. Yeah. Maybe, who knows?
But so dream car... Like if I had like no holds, like I could just go out and buy anything.
No budget.
I don't know. Because I love
There's
a lot
too
of
many.
I love a lot of the new stuff. I like some of the electric stuff. But I love the old Cadillac. So as far as Cadillacs, the 59 convertible to me is like, that's the perfect
sweet spot.
Cadillac.
Right.
Yeah.
Tell me what you think. I want to get back to dream cars because I have mine, by the way. Have I ever told you what my dream classic car would be?
No.
All right, good. We'll get to that in a second. But I have an opinion that the Tesla truck that we all saw Elon Musk throw a rock through the window. The Cybertruck. I think that's a joke. This is not a conspiracy theory. I've heard no one else echo this. This is a Deb O'Keefe original. I think it's a joke. I do not think that he's going to make it to look like that. And I think the whole thing with the rock going through the window, that was some type of...
Really?
I just have the opinion of that because it's so fucking ugly. I think that thing is the most hideous thing. And I've seen with my 2 eyes a geo tracker. But that thing, I don't get it. I don't like it. And I love Actually, I'm really just a big fan of the model, the original Tesla. The other ones can.
I like the
suck it.
Roadster, the one that you sent into outer space.
Oh, that
The little two-seater.
Okay.
Yeah, that's like one of the original Teslas.
That's too small for me. I don't.
Yeah,
like
but it
those
looks
little
cool.
cars.
But yeah, I think the truck's
but
legit.
Do you really
I
think
do.
so?
Think
what
about
do you think
this.
of the model? What do you think of
There
the
has not
angles?
been any innovation in the design of a truck
True.
ever. If you look at the first truck to the trucks today, they all look the exact same shape.
Pretty similar.
Small.
Yeah.
I mean, I say that I'm going to get beat up over
Well,
this.
yeah,
but
because I'm thinking of the old Fords that are,
yeah, that's true. They had some cooler front ends back in the day, but they all have a very similar look. And I think what shocked people is that he was calling that a truck. Man, and if I think of innovation would have continued to climb and people were not scared to take risks and make changes, other trucks would look similar to that. It just doesn't make sense to come out with an electric truck
that looks the same.
It has to have the same performance as far as like functionality and everything.
Right.
But it definitely needs to stand apart and stand out. I think
it does.
It's like a DeLorean. DeLorean came out.
Oh, yeah.
People were like,
Yeah.
I think people are going to look back and go, okay.
Thinking of a certain person I know who likes all those douche mobiles. You know him too. You know who you are. He'd probably love that truck. Love that truck.
Hey, if they called and said, Shag, you want a Cybertruck?
Well, I would too, Shag.
Absolutely.
But if I could compare it to the Ford electric that I've seen.
But the Ford electric's a Ford truck that's just electric.
But I'm not a big fan of Ford trucks. I've been told once, found on road dead. And so,
you know what? If it's cool, it doesn't
told,
matter. There's the problem with loyalties. If it's cool, it's cool.
Yeah. No, I agree.
You know
this is
what I
from
mean?
a person that did own one as well. But I honestly have been toying with the idea of getting a truck. I've never had a truck. I think that's stupid.
When you have a truck, though.
But then I know, right? Then you can always put shit in the back. Like I've got to pick up a rower tomorrow. I lent my rower to someone.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be like fighting with seats. I'm going to have to take it apart.
I'll go get it for you.
You got a truck?
Yeah, of course. I've had the same truck for a while.
All right, that's cool. But yeah, so I've been thinking that'd be cool if I had a truck, but I'm not going to buy a truck at the moment. Like I said, I got my most recent car last summer. Thankfully, I don't need one right now. It'd be pretty tough to get one. But
yeah.
I was contemplating the trucks really bad. I drove the Audi were doing a program where they deliver, and I think they were one of the first ones. You make a reservation, they deliver it to your house. Mm-hmm. They actually deliver the vehicle, meaning they'll show you all of its nooks and crannies and its special features.
Like VIP.
Yeah, and you have it for 3 days and then they come and pick it up. This was, I think, pretty innovative that they did in COVID, bringing the car to you so you felt comfortable and you didn't have to, and then someone else would pick them up and take them away.
Hey, COVID or no COVID, that's still a pretty cool program.
It's still pretty nice. And I wasn't, I'm no one to get anything special, but I just signed up for it. Yeah, it was really nice. And that car was a beaut. And I cannot put that kind of money down on a car. So I just enjoyed 3 days of driving it, and it's got some great features. But I think I want more choice when it comes to electric. I want there to be.
There's a lot out there. There are.
I feel like I want there to be way more because I really don't like the look of anything. Except
I think there's
the
Rivian is a new one that's out there that the guys from Motor Trend just took across country.
They did
on a massive trip. Yeah, they did across America.
That's right. I'd heard about that too.
And then I think Karma. There's another one, Karma. Oh man, Karma's making some beautiful sports car style electrics. Yeah, I mean, I've got
dogs. I can't do a sports. Stuff.
No, there's other utility vehicles out there that look. They still have that similar flair.
Yeah, but they can carry some
stuff. But you
stuff.
can tell it's electric.
Because I live on my own, but I got 4 animals, so I'm always like lugging something around. Yeah, in a small zoo.
We got 3. Yeah.
Yeah, we both got Frenchies. And they have met.
I didn't know if I thought about bringing Frank.
I'm working on the people in the front office here.
Yeah.
I'm working on them so I can bring Alfie in.
Because last time you and I hung out on the radio show, we had our Frenchies.
Yeah, we did. It was lovely. The last time we hung out, I bought Alfie and you didn't bring Frank.
I wasn't sure.
It was rude.
Yeah.
No, it's fine.
He gets hot in the warehouse.
Oh, yeah. So does Alfie. You can't take him out for long. But I'm not advocating for buying a French Bulldog, by the way. I just have to put that as a disclaimer. Mine was a rehome and they're pains in the ass.
So was mine.
Don't get them.
Get them.
They burp. No, but they're lovely. But get them from a rehome. Go to a French Bulldog.
It's the best dog I've ever had.
Really? See, Blue Boy's my best dog I've ever had. And sorry, Alfie and Brady, if you're listening, you're fine.
And if you get tired of Alfie, he has a home with us.
No, that guy.
Speaking of homes, so you saved our ass one year. Do you remember this?
No.
We were leaving to go out of town, go to Mexico.
Oh, and I had
and you took care of Roscoe. He had gotten loose and we had lost him. I'm talking hours before we left.
I remember now.
And then something happened with where he was going to stay. We didn't feel right. And
it was super last minute.
You'd always said, people will say things like, hey, if you ever need help, And I thought, Deb is legit.
I've forgotten about that.
And you saved our ass. And we took Roscoe to your house and he loved it.
And Blue Boy.
And Blue.
Blue Boy loved it too. Blue, since then, and obviously Blue passed away 3 years ago, R.I.P., still in my heart. But ever since we looked up, and Roscoe and he had play dates before, but ever since we watched him that time, Blue would, every time you see a Boston Terrier, he was all over it.
So Roscoe,
and I thought for years about adopting Blue, a Boston Terrier.
So Roscoe was a 100% pure Boston. So he had the almost concave face.
Just deformed by us humans.
And it's
thanks humans.
It stinks because that's kind of what progressed his passing is his lack of oxygen and things of that nature. But I don't want to get into that. What I want to get into is the fact that he loved your place and he was such a rad dude. And I got to tell you, growing up and having dogs and they pass and your parents always took care of it,
Was he the first one you had to put down?
No one prepped me as a parent when I lose an animal.
Yeah.
That day still is so burned into my memory. It's so tough. It's like finding him and then having to tell the kids and just dealing with all that. And now I have this appreciation for my parents because I never went through, I just had to go through the loss.
Them not being there anymore.
But man, as a parent, there's so many other layers of just emotion. I'm like, man, where's this book? Why didn't I learn this? And no one gave me a heads up on this part.
Well, I had terrible anxiety for 2 years before Blue was even sick about him dying and leaving me. And I had some terrible thoughts. And I don't know how you're supposed to be prepared for that. But, I've now only had to put Blue and one cat down. The rest of them just have been killed, which is tragic.
It is
tragic in itself to not see them afterwards or to just find their dead body. But I was really, really thankful and grateful for my surroundings, my people here, because somebody spoke to the vet and booked her to come over. Somebody else booked the people to come by and take Blue away to be cremated.
You need that community.
I wasn't thinking about that.
Yeah.
And I timed it so my parents were coming to visit and so they were there. And I really sort of tried to set myself up for... here's the thing. I killed my dog. I put him down, right? I put him down at home. He had cancer. So you can time it when it comes to accidental deaths or, old age
ours
passing.
was not.
You can't plan for that.
It's completely unexpected.
Especially when they're too young.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On a school day, it was rough.
I've been there with other animals and I think it takes years off your life, frankly.
Yeah. It was rough.
It's draining.
But I will always have that memory because you helped us.
I'm really glad you reminded me of that.
We went to Mexico for a week for a wedding, and just knowing that he was at your house, we were so comfortable knowing that Roscoe was cool, and he was around people that loved him and around his friends.
Yeah, they had a great time. So they slept together.
So thank you for that again. Years later,
I'm glad you reminded me. Thank you. It's I don't think I could live without animals. I'm glad you feel the same way.
Yeah,
they're so precious to us. So precious.
There's something wrong with someone if they're not a dogger. Here, I'd say dog person, but I mean just a pet person in general.
Yeah, I have two dogs, 2 cats, but I find it strange if you don't like animals.
Yeah.
I mean,
you just never had the right one.
Yeah, you've
never met the right one.
You're broken. There's something wrong with you if you don't like animals. Yeah. All right, now I've just got one last question then, because we'll harken back to something I said earlier. Can you guess what my dream custom car? Well, it doesn't have to even be super customed, but my dream classic car.
Man, I can't because I can see you in so many things. So I don't know. Like, is it American Muscle? Is it Muscle?
I'll say it's American Muscle-y.
Oh, it is American Muscle.
American Muscle-y.
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 And I got nothing.
Well, okay. My dream that Apollo probably never have is a GTO. Like that just
What year?
I have big lady boners for like late 60s.
As you should.
Pop the lady boner image up on the screen here. My aubergine. So my car's a 68. I think it's perfect. The lines on it, the marks on it. But I would go like 66 to 70. Nice. maybe, depending on what car, but a GTO.
Convertible?
No.
Okay.
I'm pale and freckly. Actually, I have a little residue of the sun right now. But no, I don't want that. I don't want that Texas sun on my skin.
There's just something. But you know what?
It's too hot. But
Convertibles at night.
Okay, so take away the goat now. All right, we're going to what I think I could find, what I've seen, what I've kind of looked at, and what I would trade my car for, my 68 Buick Wildcat, if anyone is out there and interesting.
Good to know.
Is an around the same era, 68-ish or 69, because that'd just be really funny, right? Because I'm a child. A black cherry matte El Camino.
El Camino.
And you have to say like that, El Camino.
I would never have thought of an El Camino.
I could just see myself in it
It's
right now.
It's like the mullet of cars.
I know.
Yeah.
Why do I like it?
I don't know.
You know why? It's because I think I've had getting a truck on my mind for so long. But now,
you've got the years are right.
Yeah.
Yeah. You've got, those are good years for sure.
For the look.
Yeah. The looks
The
and the
70s,
lines.
I don't like any of that. The 60s is just, no, but yes. Oh, black cherry.
That's good to know.
Keep your eye out.
You're willing to trade. Okay.
Willing to trade.
We'll keep an eye out.
Willing to trade.
We haven't built it. Haven't had one come across.
How about this? I've got an idea for a show. Doesn't everyone say this? I've got an idea. Shag, pick me. I've got an idea for the show. How about we take the 68 Buick Wildcat and we chop it into an El Camino?
Make it an El Camino. Man. That could be for some cool fab for sure.
Wow.
You know
just
what?
thought that's your own idea. Just thought of that right now.
I can't guarantee anything, but I'll tell Joe.
Okay, do that. Also, I might have also promised somebody else, a previous guest on the podcast, that I would put the word out that she needs a custom bus made.
Oh,
if you remember back to my episode with comedian Rebecca Corey, she wants to take the show on the road, and she does this. She has an amazing charity called the Stand Up for Pits Foundation.
So it's like it's something that folds down into a stage.
No. We don't need that. What we just need is the bus to be retrofitted so she can bring her dogs with her, so she can go back out on tour. But we need something because they're one of them's older and she has cancer, and we need to make sure they can get up the steps all right. Yep. And there's a nice dog living area. I just said I'd put a good
something
word
that
in.
Levels.
Yeah.
Go camping in and stuff.
Well, like a tour bus as well. And we could advertise the Stand Up for Pits Foundation on one side, Iron Resurrection on the other.
Look at you. It's already been made. It's already built in your head.
The cogs are whirring.
You know who you need to talk to about that? Mandy.
Okay.
Get Mandy in on the cause.
Okay, so on our next
she might be able to convince Joe to.
Yes. I love
definitely
this.
have Mandy come on. She's very hands-on with a lot of charities and stuff.
Done and done.
Yeah. I'll connect you guys.
Do that. And on that note, I say to you out there, catch up on Iron Resurrection. All seasons available on Motor Trend. And that's just motortrend.com.
Yes.
Excellent. It's pretty easy to watch shows on there. And if you want to watch bootleg shit versions of ones, they're on YouTube. But
they're everywhere.
They're not good quality. But you'll see Shag going out, finding these cool, sometimes rusted out old skeletons, or people bringing in their projects and with their ideas. And then
I'm the negotiator. I'm the deal maker.
Yeah.
From cars to parts to whatever it is.
What is the word you said earlier?
Shagler. I said that as a joke in the pitch reel.
I don't think you can say that in England.
Shagler? Oh, you can't. By the way, I'm reminded of that.
You can, because I just said fuck like 8 times.
Well, the viewers in England,
weird.
They remind me that shag means something different.
Shag means to sleep with. Like I shagged him. I slept with him. And so when people say,
I bet it's funny when my name pops up on TV there.
Oh, well then, while we're talking about England, we'll just finish with this last story because it's super charming.
You want me to tell it, or you want to tell it?
We can both tell it. My brother,
because I know the year and everything,
who also has been a guest on this show. If you haven't seen that podcast, get back there and listen to him talk about tackling toxic masculinity within himself and others.
He's pretty masculine.
You'll love the episode.
Yeah.
You really will. But James has always been into cars and motorbikes and just loves the world.
James is cool. He is just.
And years ago, when Shagalak over here was Shag from Red Bull,
2008 actually.
Was it 2008?
It was the summer of 2008. I'll tell you, Mastercraft had let me use a boat. They'd let me use a boat one summer.
And I'm a boat whore. And I say that in the best way because surfing is my jam. Surfing,
which is why.
Yeah.
I made sure you knew. And we took out, and you told me, hey, my brother's in town with his girlfriend or fiance. I forget at the time. I think it was his girlfriend.
They definitely weren't married. Yeah.
And you that's all I need to know. As far as I'm concerned, it's like Deb's brother, whatever. And you're like, his girlfriend's Beverly Knight, and she's kind of a big deal. But you didn't tell me any of the fact of who she was till after the fact. So there was no pressure. We had a great day on the boat. beautiful people, so fun, so very charismatic.
Yeah, we got James up surfing, didn't we?
Oh, it was a great day.
I did a wakeboard as well. I don't remember.
Bev was hanging out, just enjoying the front of the boat, taking it in. James was, it was an amazing day. And then you're
So
like,
fun.
yeah, she's kind of a big deal back home. And I was like, oh, that's cool. I Googled her and I'm like, oh yeah, she is kind of a big deal.
She was on my boat.
But that day, I remember so many elements of that day and felt like I
Connected.
I made a new friend in James.
You're
and
like
Bev.
you're a family friend now.
Fast forward
This is
to
where
just
the dickhead moment comes in.
6 months ago, he messages me on Instagram. And so we get to back and forth and I'm thinking,
He reached out to Shag to say, I love the show.
yeah. So, and I'm chatting with him like he remembers the time we
You're like,
spent
this is
on
Deb's
the lake.
brother.
And I said something about you. I was like, oh yeah, blah, 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 Deb. And he goes, oh, you know Deb. I'm like, yeah, man, we all hung out on the boat that day. That's when I realized he's not talking to me as that guy.
What he told me, and it's just slightly different, but what cracked me up was he said, oh man, I love the show. I really love to come and visit the shop one day. And Shag's like, yeah, anytime. Because he's like, you're a friend of the family.
Absolutely.
Come by. And James says, yeah, because I'm in Austin every now and then. My sister lives there. And that was when you wrote back and said, James, you goddamn idiot.
Yeah, we spent the day on the boat together. Yeah.
And he just didn't remember. And that's not on you.
Let
me just tell you, it's not on you. James doesn't remember anything.
But then it's even crazier because like Aunt Anstead is on another show, has other shows, and we've become friendly over the years.
James is good friends with him.
That's what I found out.
What a small world.
I was like, man, it gets
not
smaller.
only that, but Anstead, I think if you're not in that car world or motorbike world or gearhead speed freak mode, you might not know him, but you might know him now because he is dating Renee Zellweger. This just came out recently.
Which makes the world even smaller.
For you?
Because growing up in north of Fort Worth, and my cousin Brandy, we lived near each other and we played a lot as kids, little kids. Years go by, you kind of lose touch with first and second cousins sometimes. And time had gone on. Well, she married Drew, which is Renee's brother. So she's now Brandy Zellweger.
No way.
So how funny is that she's married to Drew and my friend Aunt is married to... Or is dating, sorry. Is dating Renee. But and I'm just like, man, the world really is a small place.
Yeah. And who'd have thought that guy you had on your boat 10, 11 years ago who's completely forgotten
the core is right here, really.
Yeah, exactly. You remember that James O'Keefe and Aunt Anstead and Renee Zellweger.
I do want to go,
started this first.
I do have a lot of friends and a lot of fans in the UK, and I would love to get out there and just hang out
James,
for a
I'd love
week.
to have you.
Oh man, that'd be such a good time.
You should do that.
Hit up some car shows. And just take it in.
Oh God, he was just at a car show with Ant, I believe.
Of course he was.
Of course, I'm not name dropping here. I don't know.
He's a blast.
Yeah, it's a nice guy. I've heard good things.
Yeah.
Well, you're a good guy. You're a nice guy too.
Well, thank you.
And you're so nice to come on my podcast.
Well, I mean, there's so much we can talk about because we do have quite a bit of history.
We do. You took me on my first Road Rules episode. That's what I always call our trip
is that what you
to
call
Fort Worth that you took me and a bunch of other.
That's right. I think I raced another Suburban near Waco.
It was a terrifying and enlightening trip. I learned a lot, but I went to my first NASCAR.
That's right.
And last with you.
Did we go to the hockey game after that too?
Everyone else did, but I had to fly back to be on the show, to be back on the radio. But yeah, everyone else went to it. It was that or wait, what sport is Mavericks?
Basketball, but it was hockey.
It was hockey?
Because at the NASCAR race, I hooked up with someone that wasn't using their suite that night. So everyone that I had taken from Austin, we all got in the Suburban and headed from the NASCAR race over to the Dallas Stars game.
Oh, you just know
and
too
hung
many
out in the
people
suite.
now.
It's just luck.
Too cool.
It's just luck.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much again for being on the podcast.
Hey, thanks for...
Check out the new season of Iron Resurrection on Motor Trend. Do you want people to check you out on the Instagram?
Yeah, so at Shagalac is my Instagram.
Like Cadillac, but with the fuck word in front of it.
But I can
say that now, Shag.
Yeah, I guess you can.
Swear on my podcast.
And I think it's at Shagalac or just Shag Arrington on Facebook is my public page. And then, I've got the side gig, Your Biker Gang.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. So if you're ever in Austin, there is a really cool way to see the town. You don't have to look stupid and get on a Segway. You can ride these cool, what do you call the fat tire?
Well, we got new bikes. We have the domestic. We got a new domestic solution to our bikes out of Seattle called
very cool.
Rad Power Bikes. But they're, it's electric bikes.
If you've never ridden
Austin.
I did this in Bend, Oregon. We rented electric bikes. So
you rented. We actually give guided tours.
Oh, that's awesome.
And what's cool is you get to see the majority of the town that you may not have time for on your trip in like a 2-hour tour.
You just condense it all.
Yeah. Shag VIP, Shag VIP. If you want to do it, go to yourbikergang.com.
Yourbikergang.com.
And I think it's Shag. If you put in Shag VIP,
you get discount?
There's a discount.
Oh, I love discounts.
Yeah.
Love a discount.
If Shag VIP doesn't work, just flip it.
If it does, just get at me and we'll fix it for you. Shag, thanks so much. Give my love to your family.
I will, for sure.
All right,
they
take
love
care.
you.
I love you too.
Thanks.
Love you.
Love you.
Love you. Well, all I can say is I hope it continues being as fun and as interesting as guests like that. Thanks, Shag. That was really cool. Check out Iron Resurrection online and on Instagram. And maybe my car very soon will be featured on Iron Resurrection. I'm going to just keep sowing those seeds so I can get those dent fixed. Oh, maybe, or just, scrap that. Just let's turn it into an El Camino. We cool with that? Everyone cool with that? All right, we're cool. I'm going to finish the show today with a quick message I got from a lovely listener called James. He said, Deb, just finished listening to the new podcast. Absolutely loved it. Thanks. So great having you back in our ear holes, and the new format works so well. Can't wait for the next episode. Well, they're all out right now. You can go and find them, James. They're not only on YouTube, but they're on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, you name it. That's where they are. You can find me on Instagram at Deb O'Keefe, and like the show on Facebook, the Deb O'Keefe podcast. I'm collecting lots of listener information. I'm going to do some fun galleries, some giveaways, and just you can send me a message there. It's nice and easy. If you have questions, if you have maybe subjects you think I should cover as a topic on the podcast, be more than happy to look at those messages. So you just send them to me at Deb O'Keefe on social media. And until next time, I love you. Bye. Thanks for listening. You can find more episodes and all of our other Hot Pie Media originals baked fresh daily at our home online at hotpiemedia.com, the Hot Pie Media YouTube channel, or wherever you listen to podcasts.